Eurovisionaries, hello, 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 hello. We are creating the path for youth in European entrepreneurship. We are doing it at JA together with EUROPEN. Oh, you don't know what EUROPEN is? We're going to find out very, very, very soon with Francesca Stevens, which is the Secretary General of EUROPEN and his partner of Genie 2024. Ciao, Francesca.
Ciao, Salvatore.
How are you doing?
All right, all good, and you?
I'm good. I know our people have already prepared some questions that I need to make you, but I want to have a question which is about your personal life. When you were 16 years old,
Yes.
What do you wanted to do? Did you wanted to change the world? What kind of job you wanted to have? What did you wanted to do? What was
I
your
can
future?
go back to 8 years old because it's always been the same. I wanted to become an ambassador. So diplomatic relations, international relations has always been my bread and butter since I was little. I always thought about that. It's not been my bread and butter, but it was always my dream. Let's say.
I cannot believe that because it was also my dream. That's why I studied political science and international political science, you see, since I was a kid. At the end of the day, instead, we are ended up changing the world together with entrepreneurs across Europe, isn't it? So what is your current landscape of entrepreneurship in Europe and how do you think it's evolving?
Well, I think it's on one end a potentially exciting one. I also think it's currently not quite challenging environment. Nevertheless, that's why it's so important, right, to keep the young people, I think, interested and motivated to see the opportunities. While saying that it is challenges, of course, the economic situation that we are living at the moment, the geopolitical crisis, are clearly having an impact on, let's say, the business environment in Europe, to a certain extent more than in other regions, because these crises are very close to our borders of the European Union, but are even within Europe right now. And of course, there is also a very complex regulatory environment that is putting a certain strain also on businesses. But at the same time, because of the transformation, right, the society is living through, let's talk about digital, let's talk about sustainability, it also offers so many opportunities for new businesses, to enter the scene. So I think, it's a little bit of both right now.
Challenges definitely an opportunity. Now, our audience is made out of young people out there. There's young entrepreneurs who are building their mini company or building their startups, are going to participate at Genie 2024. It's also a big year for Europe. It's the year of elections. So what do we expect by the new European Parliament, the new European Commission, in order to promote entrepreneurship program across Europe?
Yes, it is the year of the European elections. Again, they're occurring in a climate which is not the most relaxed climate, also in light of the very, very, most recent event of the last few days. But certainly, again, when it's important, I think, that we think of the European project, and that's what I really hope as a European citizen, that we don't forget that. In the election atmosphere, and especially in what is going to come for the next 5 years legislative term, is what is Europe is all about, right? It's about continue to build peace and prosperity, which is then what is needed also for businesses to thrive. And so what I hope that, the new Commission, the new European Parliament and the member states together will deliver is a more kind of long-term project for Europe, for business, for society. This means also, addressing very concrete issues, access to raw materials, energy, access to energy, affordable and sustainable energy, skills and innovation. We have huge need for upskilling, reskilling the existing workforce. We also are looking at the situation for manufacturing and the scarcity of skills, of technical skills. For example, in the packaging industry is something also that we are witnessing. In the past, I was in the aerospace industry, and there was a similar issue. So I think these are really issues that can no longer be delayed, and they demand a very strong political response, but also coordinated response from the different countries in the European Union. And so I think that is where the European Union can really make the difference in driving, these structural changes, really.
So in a period or in an age of wealth, in reality, we are looking at scarcity. Scarcity of talent, scarcity of material, scarcity of chips, scarcity of this, scarcity of that. So needs are changing, consumption is continuing, but definitely we're seeing it that in order to keep up with our wealth, to keep up with the well-being, and especially to keep up with the future, the promise that we are making to the future generation, we do need to address those challenges. So definitely, I agree with you. The new commission needs to focus on that. Now, we talk about one Europe, but we also know that there are different regions across Europe, and some of those are very nurturing entrepreneurship. But give me some cases that you think you've seen, some of specific regions or cities in Europe that is conducive to this nurturing entrepreneurship.
That's for sure. But to be honest, it's hard also to pinpoint, in the sense that then I think, what J Europe is doing through the different, mini companies project. And last year I had, the opportunity also to be part of JENI 2023 in Istanbul. And I was part of, one of the jury assessing the project of the startups. It was amazing to see that no matter the region, right? No matter the country, even outside of the European Union, still in the European region, but not part of the European Union, the amount of entrepreneurial idea coming from, very young students. My case was university grades, but still, it's very young people, and very, very complex project. So in that respect, I think that's reassuring to know that, young people have the same entrepreneurial spirit everywhere. Maybe to answer your question more precisely, though, it is true that then, depending where you are, and you can see the difference also amongst universities, right? There are certainly, when you look at the Nordics, you can tell that there is an advantage there, right? Because there is a structure behind that is already conducive, to supporting startup projects and give them an amount of, potential and capital, really in terms of opportunities, that really is much greater when you look at, South and Central Eastern Europe, that it cannot be denied. Then in some cases, some of the countries also come with a heavier bureaucracy. I think overall in Europe, we're still far from the US mentality and mindset that, failure is not.
We're regulating. Is that true? I mean, we're regulating over here. And we see it also with the new technology. We see it also, the amount of research that is produced in Europe, then it's not translated into patent, it's not translated into venture capitalists making significant investments into those startups.
Yes.
But we do have some good. Do you want to give me some good examples? Some good example of some entrepreneurs that you think are good out there?
Well, we have experienced one ourselves, for our annual event last year, where we actually awarded the Startup Award. I can give you two examples. One, were the winner of the award. So Sensor, which is a company made of, 5 young Greek ladies that developed what was just, an idea of a product. But what has been really amazing to witness throughout the last year is the fact that they have reached out to engineers and other students to really try and then make a prototype of their idea. They recently won another prize, an Ocean Prize award in Greece, because their project was related, to detecting plastic pollution in the sea. And at the same time, also that event, instead we had already a more formed companies, which we invited to present their product, which is a company called Cricket that produce for example, bars, like cereal bars made out of flour from cricket. So, full of protein, and also very sensitive discussion sometimes, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym after this podcast. I do need this part.
Definitely you need that protein bars. But it's been also really interesting, to hear when they came to our event, their entrepreneurial journey, brother and sister, they decided, to buy this project and develop and scale it up. And now it's really a reality that's become a true commercial reality. So really fascinating to witness this kind of entrepreneurial stories. And I'm sure there are many more out there, but these are, two that I kind of relate quite closely with, having lived them or experienced them a little bit more directly.
And if you were one of those young entrepreneurs, which one are the sector that you think, at least in Europe, are the emerging trends or sector that you could think to go into?
Well, I'm hard lover of manufacturing, hardcore, and I'm thinking what I would like to see more is actually young people looking at manufacturing, thinking how sexy it is to work in manufacturing, because it's not that immediate. That digital is also.
You don't think about it, right? You don't think it's sexy, right? So they use that word.
Exactly, but because there is
this. In reality, it is. Look at how you craft things, actually, and how you can see a product that is coming out there from manufacturing,
Absolutely, and the amount of innovation that is needed, as I said, digital technology, automation is already at the air for manufacturing, much more right in the future. But also I think, based on what we were saying earlier as well, where Europe is going and the scarcity of resources, I think we have seen a trend in recent years to pinpoint as industry as a bad thing, whereas, industry is where innovation comes from. So it's important that the young generation don't think of we need to forget about industry and live out of something that,
clearly going to produce. You can think about technology, but it's going to produce the hardware of that technology.
Absolutely. They're still going to be produced, but are they going to be produced in Europe, right? So that's, I think, why it's so important to have these resources, European resources, investing and participating in rebuilding the manufacturing industry and continue the future of the manufacturing industry, rather than thinking that, this is an old industry we don't need.
Plenty of space there for innovate and to become an entrepreneur. Absolutely, totally agree. Now, you see, we are in the podcast of advices here. So instead, what are the advice you would give to an aspiring young entrepreneur who is hesitant to take the first step? Because both me and you wanted to become entrepreneurs, and at the end of the day, wanted to become diplomats. At the end of the day, we are entrepreneurial in our mindset, in the way we are moving our respective organizations, right? But many young people have this fear, say, I should not start, this is too risky. So what advice would you give to this young lady? You touched about a young lady from Sensor. So a young, new entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think the best thing, when else, right, to take a risk, if not when you're young and, so to say, have nothing to lose. So for a start, the age is on your side. The, let's say, lack of family responsibility and all these kind of things are on your side, and you can take this risk potentially much more easily. Then I think it's really having the curiosity and the ambition, but it really is more like, knowing that you can make a difference by moving the needle. You can move the needle with little steps. And I think, you are a testimony of that. I think I can say that I'm, to a certain extent, a testimony of that. I'm not, an entrepreneur as such. I don't have my own business, but, every time I'm part of an organization, I always try to go that, step forward, even, when it's not asked of you, but trying to think how you can shape things differently. And that is what really stimulates and generates new ideas, right? That the interaction with the others, of course, right? Because very often these ideas come from talking to other people, having conversation, having dialogues, rather than, close yourself in a room and think, I need to come up with this great entrepreneurial idea. Things don't normally, the greatest invention, right, have not come out from people closing themselves or locking themselves in the room, but really with interaction and understanding new problems. How can we solve them? Collaborative efforts, I think, especially for the young people, is very important.
And Francesca used one word that we love, and we love it this year at Genie. The tagline of Genie 2024 is spark your curiosity. As a matter of fact, as Italian, as we're going to do Genie 2024 in Catania, curiosity, which is the base of creativity. You entrepreneurs are curious by definition. Thank you so much, Francesca. Thank you to EUROPEN for continuing to be a great partner of JA Europe. Thanks to you, we're also able to reach impact over 6 million young people in over 40 European countries. Thanks to you, we are giving advices to young people to start their entrepreneurial journey, and I'm sure more and more they are going to discover what EUROPEN has to offer when they become very successful entrepreneur. What do they have to do at the moment? A very simple thing. They need to like this podcast, share this podcast, and definitely put your comments down here. Follow us on YouTube and on Spotify. Francesca, it has been un grande piacere.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Salvatore. Till next time.